Good morning, 6:03. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app's a free download. Erin, local news up next.
The cold front has arrived. We'll tell you more about that. 2 young children are shot in Natchitoches. We'll talk about that, too. And quite a Saturday night for the Tigers.
Got a question for you. What does Playboy magazine have to do with the NFL? How are they similar? What do they have in common? And who are the brains that seem set on destroying both of those legendary businesses? Fletcher and sports, traffic, and weather all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
The weekend cold front has brought even cooler temperatures to our state. Climatologist Barry Keim says it really feels like fall today.
Minimum temperatures this morning across the state are in the 50s and 60s, and high temperatures this afternoon are only going to reach into the mid-70s. It's going to be a stunningly beautiful day.
Shreveport-Bossier area could dip into the 30s later this week. Natchitoches police investigating a shootout that left 2 children wounded. Police say the shooting took place at an apartment complex on Reva Street. A 5-year-old child shot in the calf, a 3-year-old shot in the foot. Both injuries said to be non-life-threatening. Police also found that multiple cars and apartments were damaged during the violent encounter. Detectives say they have several identified suspects in that shooting. 3 busted in a string of burglaries. Matt Parker with that.
3 teenagers were arrested by Shreveport police after the trio allegedly broke into multiple vehicles in the Southern Hills neighborhood. Police witnessed the teens enter a school bus at Southwood High School. When officers went to investigate, the teens attempted to flee. Police recovered a laptop, a large amount of cash, and jewelry from the bus. The teens are being charged with 9 counts of simple burglary. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The number of teens involved in fatal car crashes down 53% in Louisiana over a 10-year period from 2005 to 2015. That's according to the National Young Driver Survey. State Farm spokesman Kip Diggs says car crashes are the #1 killer of teens. He says the biggest contributing factor to the decrease is graduated driver's licensing laws.
Putting more things in place to monitor their driving even after, but both before they get a driver's license and after they get a driver's license, the ages of 15 to 18.
A one-time teen star is in trouble. Goonies star and musician Corey Feldman arrested in Mangum, Louisiana on drug charges. According to police, they pulled over the star's bus for speeding and discovered marijuana and prescription pills. Feldman, along with 5 crew members, were charged with possession of drugs and drug paraphernalia. Feldman and his band had to cancel their performance in Monroe due to their run-in with the law. The Louisiana Republican congressional delegation believes tax reform legislation can be passed this year. Senator John Kennedy says a bill has yet to be drafted, but he supports an across-the-board personal income tax cut, starting with the middle class.
If we do this right and let people keep more of their own money, people will see higher take-home pay, we'll have more jobs, we'll have productivity go up, which will cause wages to go up.
Governor John Bel Edwards and lawmakers have had numerous meetings to discuss the up-and-coming $1 billion fiscal cliff. According to reports, lawmakers understand the gravity of the situation, but have yet to come up with a solution that doesn't devastate multiple state services. LSU's Darius Geis, the first running back in the SEC history to rush for more than 250 yards in 3 different games. Geis had 276 yards and 1 TD in the 40-24 win over Ole Miss. Coach Ed Orgeron says he was anticipating a big game from his superstar back.
He's finally healthy. I think, well, we thought that we could run the football on him. But he's finally healthy. And we challenged our team. We needed to run the football. This is a team that can score at any time. We needed to play dominant, control football tonight, run the ball. We did.
LSU has moved up to number 23 in the polls. Next up for the Tigers, on the road at Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama after a 1-week rest. No Powerball winner over the weekend, so that jackpot climbs to $191 million. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Good morning. It's 9 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. What, Monday already? Traffic update starting us off. Here's Ruben.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine breezy and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
13 past 6 o'clock, 1017 FM 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app's a free download, office furniture source. Hang on a second. Matt and I are going to chat.
Okay, you chat among yourselves.
You just
I'll keep working.
Between ourselves, but I know what you mean.
Right.
Is she a little better this morning? Is she a little more relaxed, or is she still sort of like 75 to 1,000 volts of electricity are coursing through her veins?
She's not quite as nutty as she was last week. I'm not going to say she's settled in, because that'd be an untruth.
How many people last week, because the number for me is about 5, how many people in the building right here at Town Square Media Shreveport asked you basically this question? You work with her 3 hours a day. What's wrong with her?
Ooh,
I had about 5.
I'd say I had a good half dozen. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I'm just fine.
Of course you're fine.
No worries.
And in fact, you're awake. You're like Erin Van Winkle.
I know.
You're awake for the first time in 20 years.
It's bizarre.
And you are experiencing, explain to look, if nothing else comes of this, I'm talking about the diet, the exercise regimen, the nutrition, the sleep. That's what I want to talk about.
Jason did his show Saturday on sleep.
I heard it.
And there are so many people with sleep troubles.
And don't realize it.
Yes.
There are so many people who say to themselves, I'm just not a sound sleeper. It's just how I am.
I don't know why I'm cranky after lunch.
And you went for nigh on 2 decades thinking you were a fitful sleeper without really analyzing the environment in which you tried to sleep.
I would leave the TV on all night. It would be on.
How did that happen? What habit?
I don't know. That goes back to my marriage. We would leave it on.
Did that begin?
I would fall asleep watching a movie or something, and it was just never turn off because I'd be asleep. I'm a deep sleeper. Once I fall asleep, I fall into a deep sleep. I don't hear any other noises, but my subconscious does. You don't realize that. Your subconscious is still clicking and ticking, and that blue light, EMP, whatever they call it.
Messes up, what is it, the melatonin or something in your system.
It really does. Jason says get everything electronic out of your bedroom. He says you shouldn't have a TV in your bedroom. I can't go for that.
My biggest rule is I don't look at the phone within 30 minutes of going to sleep, other than a last 10-second text, because literally the electronics, for lack of a better term, the biology of those electronics messes up your body chemistry.
Yes, what I have changed, and if you want to try just one little trick and to get a better night's sleep, turn off everything electronic in your room, except I do have a meditation talk down on my phone. The phone's closed and dark, but I cover my eyes with a little black mask. Lights are off, everything's dark in the room, and I look like the Lone Ranger. And I turn on this meditation.
Without the eye holes.
Yeah, exactly. No eye holes.
I was very primitive, Lone Ranger.
And she talks you down and tells you how to relax these muscles.
Almost like a hypnosis.
Yes, it's exactly. And you can just search for sleep meditation. You can search for male voice, female voice, whatever you like. I prefer the female because the men all talk funny. And I don't like to listen to the men talk me to sleep. It does not help me.
I feel like ordering a Slurpee.
I'm wondering if they're in India.
What the hell?
So I listen to the female, and I find myself waking the next morning after 7 hours of sleep.
Exactly.
And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Now, last night I had a setback, but that's a whole nother story.
Are you talking sleep-wise, dietarily?
Sleep-wise, yeah. I woke at 11. I went to sleep early. I went to sleep too early. I went to sleep at 7, which gave me 4 hours.
But you slept for 4 hours.
Yeah, but then I had to pee.
Huh?
So the pee woke me up.
On
Not that I peed on myself, but I had to go pee.
I got you.
So I had to go to the bathroom. Then I came back and went back to sleep for about 3. So which is okay.
If nothing else comes from this.
Oh, I sleep a ton better.
And aren't you saying, how did I manage to spend the last 2+ decades of my life? See, here's the deal. For the last 20+ years, you've been walking around in a fog.
Yeah, up and down, 3 hours of sleep. Up and down, 3 hours of sleep. Up and down, up and down.
And what's happened...
And it makes you crazy.
And you've been walking around literally like you're the Patriots game last night.
Yeah.
Okay?
In a fog.
And suddenly the fog has lifted.
Mm-hmm.
So where for the last 20 years you've been on a sensory level of 1 to 10.
Right.
You've been living at about a 2.
Yeah.
Where the rest of the world's working at a 5 or 6, suddenly you're awake. And
Right.
you're noticing things, and all of a sudden, and I'm being totally serious now, suddenly to you the world is very loud.
Yeah.
And it's sensory overload in some senses. Mm-hmm. And sensory overload in some senses,
Right.
in some ways.
Yeah.
And you're adjusting to that, and Matt and I both, it'll probably be about another 5 days or so.
Right.
Before the volume of the world where you adjust to the actual volume of life.
Exactly. I do want to apologize to a local waitress this morning at Strawn's, the new one on Uri at Burkoon's.
Yeah.
Because I went to brunch with my son and his girlfriend, and I'm like, what do I order at Strawn's? So I said, okay, let me get a chef's salad. But I said, hold the eggs. Hold the cheese.
Are you not eating eggs? No eggs?
Well, I can eat eggs very rarely, so I don't eat them very often.
It's
Wait, I didn't finish my story.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I said, hold the eggs, hold the cheese, hold the bacon. So she said, you want a pile of lettuce with turkey and tomatoes. I said, yeah, that's good, and you're going to pay the chef salad. I said, I don't care. I was like, just give me a pile of... But you know what? To be in Strawn's, to watch these piles of pancakes and French toast and fried eggs, and I was so proud of myself. And I got balsamic vinegar to go on top. I was like the queen. I felt in charge.
Who are you?
I know. Who is this crazy woman?
19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update coming up right now. Here's Ruben, and he's on Keel.
Looks like I-49 South's got it clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine and comfortable today, the high 78. Clear and cool tonight, the low near 50. Plenty of sunshine and breezy tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
Twenty-one past 6 o'clock, Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Saints are on a 4-game winning streak after handling Green Bay on the road Sunday, 26-17. Drew Brees overcame interceptions on the Saints' first 2 possessions to go 14 of 18 in the second half for 176 yards with a touchdown. He added the win-sealing touchdown in the 4th on a quarterback sneak. Ted Ginn Jr. was on the receiving end of 7 of Brees' throws, collecting 141 yards receiving. Second-year pro Michael Thomas caught 7 passes for 82 yards. And New Orleans' ground game showed up for the second straight week, with Mark Ingram gaining 105 yards on the ground and rookie Alvin Kamara 57 on just 9 carries. And the Saints are in first place in the NFC South, thanks to Atlanta losing to New England Sunday night. Ezekiel Elliott accounted for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns, one coming on a short pass from Houghton native Dak Prescott that ended up covering 72 yards in Dallas's 40-10 blowout win in San Francisco. The Cowboys improved to 3-3, while the Niners fall to 0-7. Prescott finished with 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 1 on the ground. Cowboys kicker Dan Bailey suffered a groin injury in the first half, leaving safety Jeff Heath as the place kicker. He was 2 for 3 in extra points, becoming the first non-kicker to kick multiple extra points in a game since former Houston Oiler Ted Thompson, an Atlanta, Texas native, who is now the long-tenured GM of the Green Bay Packers. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-four past 6 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM 710 Keel. Since you know somebody, we do that 5 degrees of separation. Actually, we do 1 or 2 degrees of separation. And between the two of us, we have 1 or 2 degrees of separation from just about everybody on the planet.
Right.
I.e., I've met David Toms. I'm 1 degree of separation from Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention virtually any president or politician.
Right.
You are 1 degree of separation. Well, good heavens. Do you realize Tommy, my friend Tommy, is 1 degree of separation from Mother Teresa?
Wow. Yeah, I am too.
Who you know who knew Mother Teresa?
Wait. Yeah, there's a priest. There was a priest here who had met Mother Teresa, who I met, the priest.
There's a priest in Lafayette that actually married Tommy's parents, who knew Mother Teresa very, very well. They were friends.
Oh, wow.
I mean, very good friends. I'm 1 degree of separation from a saint. Well, he is not me.
That's pretty cool.
I think he'd feel guiltier about that. The reason I bring that up is only circuitously connected. Is that you can track down anybody who knows something about virtually any topic.
I try.
And one of the things you and I have talked about, and I talked to a lot of people, and I don't recall exactly how this came up last week. Maybe I was the one that brought it up, but what the genesis of this discussion was. Oh, I know. It was the phone scams and all the well, we started off with the Better Business Bureau lady, and it just sort of expanded.
You bet.
But what we were talking about, and I think you jumped into the conversation at one point, and I don't know who we'd get to talk about this, but I'm fascinated by it. Not necessarily fascinated has a positive connotation, but you'll know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about people as they become elderly? And I use my father as an example, and I know you've talked about your mom.
Right.
Where like on Friday, they never in a million years would fall for a phone scam. Like my dad, the last 5 years or so he was alive, we had to get his credit card numbers changed about 5 times.
Yes.
Because the phone would ring, hello.
To give him money.
Hello. Well, it would be like, hello, is this Mr. Wright? Yes. Random in the phone book is how they got his number. This is so-and-so from the security system at such and such, and we're just investigating credit card fraud. And just to verify your credit card number so that you don't owe $50,000 in false charges, so he panics and he gives them his number over the phone.
Oh, goodness.
What is it as one ages where, like on Friday, if somebody called my dad and tried that, he'd have gone, suck it, and hung up.
Yeah.
And on Monday, he's giving them the number.
Right.
And you would.
My mother did the same thing. She gets a call from someone who is my, quote, son.
Yes.
Who's in trouble and needs money. Thankfully, she said, hey, let me call your mom first, and she called me, and I said, no, my son is perfectly fine.
But literally, it's like somebody throws a switch.
Yeah.
And
she was considering wiring him money.
Become incredibly gullible.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if there's a medical explanation, a chemical explanation. I don't know what the reason would be. But literally, it was like somebody just flipped a switch on my dad's brain.
Mm-hmm.
And on Friday, he was the most streetwise guy you ever met. Never in a million years would he fall for something like that.
Right.
And on Monday,
he's got his hand out to help everybody.
Well, where he's giving out his credit card number over the phone to a scam artist.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it.
And that's what we were talking about, is just what as look, you and I aren't exactly kids.
Mm-mm.
So there's part of me that's going, could this be the Friday? Could this be the weekend I flip over? Could this be the weekend I change? Could this be
You turn into Mr. Gullible?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And there has to be some sort of, I would think, chemical or sociological, societal, I don't know, explanation for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems as though that flip-flop, that personality flip-flop, just happens in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Matt, you look like you're pondering this, buddy.
No, I was just thinking.
He's looking for my home number.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to hit the
my
wall.
Credit card number.
That way I can get a loan for my third cousin.
29 past 6 o'clock. Hello, Robert. This is Pat Parker. 29. You know my cousin, Matt. 29 past 6, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin has local news up next. Here's Ruben, traffic time.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine, breezy, and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
2 children wounded in a shooting. Matt Parker has that.
Natchitoches police are investigating a shootout that left 2 children wounded. Police say the shooting took place in an apartment complex on Reba Street. A 5-year-old child was shot in the calf. A 3-year-old was shot in the foot. Both injuries are said to be non-life-threatening. Police also found that multiple cars and apartments received damage during the violent encounter. Detectives say they have identified several possible suspects in the shooting. For 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
3 teenagers arrested by Shreveport police after the trio allegedly broke into several cars in the Southern Hills neighborhood. Police witnessed the teens enter a school bus at Southwood High School. When officers went to investigate, the teens tried to run off. Police recovered a laptop, a large amount of cash, and jewelry from the bus. The teens are being charged with 9 counts of simple burglary. The weekend cold front has brought even cooler temperatures to the state. Climatologist Barry Keim says this is just the start to what will be a relief from the above-normal temps we saw last week.
Over the next 4 to 5 days, we can expect minimum temperatures to dip just a little bit, probably bottoming out on Wednesday and Thursday, perhaps even dropping as low as the 40s and probably in the 50s in the coastal zone. But the maximum temperatures are going to mostly remain in the 70s.
Shreveport-Bossier area could see temps in the 30s later this week. Goonies star and musician Corey Feldman arrested in Mangum, Louisiana on drug charges. According to police, they pulled over the star's bus for speeding and discovered marijuana and prescription pills. Feldman, along with 5 crew members, are facing charges. Governor John Bel Edwards and lawmakers have had several meetings to discuss the up-and-coming $1 billion fiscal cliff. According to reports, lawmakers understand the gravity of the situation, but have yet to come up with a solution that doesn't devastate multiple state services. The Louisiana Republican congressional delegation believes tax reform legislation can be passed this year. Senior Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy says President Trump has indicated he is willing to make some concessions to see this tax proposal become reality.
He'd be willing to accept a bill that wasn't quite to his liking if he thought it would get Democrats involved because he wants it to be bipartisan. And he's stressed over and over again doing something good for middle-class families.
Most senators on the Republican side say they want personal income tax cuts. Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl will appear today before the judge deciding his punishment for endangering comrades by walking off his post in Afghanistan in '09. Bergdahl faces up to life in prison after pleading guilty. The Saints overcame a few first-half mistakes to win their 4th straight, a 26-17 win over the Green Bay Packers. Quarterback Drew Brees bounced back from 2 first-half interceptions and ended up throwing for 331 yards. Mark Ingram rushed for 105 yards and a score. Head coach Sean Payton is glad they pulled out the victory despite the early turnovers.
They win the turnover ratio and still lose the game at Lambeau Field. It's happened, I think, once or twice in 12 or 13 years. So, look, we were able to overcome that, and that was significant.
Drew Brees, by the way, the 4th quarterback in NFL history to throw for 500 touchdowns. Shoplifters in Hawaii stealing cans of Spam, then selling them on the streets for quick cash to buy drugs. I'm Erin McCarty from 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
It is 6:36. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. If Erin seems a little bit out of the show this morning, a little bit distracted, she's making vacation plans down at the other end of the Gopher-shaped table. Okay, here's the deal. Okay, so and the Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. And I'm not going to mention prices or anything.
That's okay. I don't care.
But you found one. You love going to the beach, Orange Beach.
I'm loving it, yeah.
And you get the condo for the week, and actually in the high rise, and it overlooks the Gulf. It's right there on the beach.
Right on the water, yeah.
And so the deal is that the one that you normally get with, what is it, like 2 bedrooms?
3 bedroom, yeah.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen is price X.
Yeah, exactly.
But now she's thinking, wait a second. I found one that has a hot tub on the balcony.
Oh, man, it's dreamy.
And it's got like a built-in grill
on the balcony.
The balcony next to the hot tub, but it's X times 2.
It's double the price.
And my question to you, you literally...
I'm about to press the button.
You are hitting enter away from purchasing the X times 2 really lavish condo.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, if you're going like Saturday to Sunday or Friday, whatever it is.
Saturday.
Okay. If you go Saturday to Saturday, are you going to get to about Thursday or Friday into the week and say, oh, my God, what have I done?
Oh, no, because I'll be sitting in the hot tub with a glass of wine, happy.
My question, legitimate. Will you have buyer's remorse about
No,
5
I never
days?
do. I never do.
When you're driving home on the Saturday after your week, you're thinking, my God, I just dropped how much?
No, I'm never that kind of person.
For a Scooby-Doo pool on a balcony?
It'll be time I get to spend with family. It'll be wonderful bonding time. It'll be a great holiday week. It's going to be Thanksgiving week, I'm planning.
Push the button.
And I'm like, I will have made great family memories.
Hit the button.
And I will have had a hot tub on my balcony.
And wrinkled fingers.
Yeah, I will, actually. Because I'm a hot tub gal.
We're not going to break till you hit the button. Hit the button.
No, because there's another one I want to look at. I want to view a couple more.
Hit the button.
And then I'm gonna hit the button.
Be a man.
Can we mic her? Is her internal dialogue that where she's talking to herself about
what was that? What was that Pixar movie? The one where it's the back, where it was inside.
Oh.
It was inside the little girl's brain.
Yeah.
That's like what you're talking about. Yeah, no.
Right, that's where I am.
639, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Hit the button. Be a man. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-49 South's got it clear all the way to Alexandria right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine, breezy, and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Penanowski.
Y'all are cruel.
The KEEL Shopping Network starring Erin McCarty.
Has my tea brewed yet? I'm brewing tea.
That's not a euphemism, is it?
No, it's not.
Dear Lord.
642, it's 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app's a free download. You both are familiar. You know what the term revisionist history means.
Sure.
It's basically where like somebody goes back and changes something from what the truth is to what they want everybody to think the truth was.
Exactly.
Just off the top. In fact, I want you to Google this. As soon as you tell me, Erin, Matt, what if I asked you in 15 or 20 or 30 seconds to tell me everything that pops into your head about the gang, the Crips, what would you say?
L.A. Originated in
Tell
L.A.
me what you know about the Crips. What are they? What do they do?
They were bitter enemies of the Bloods. They wore blue.
What are they?
They're a gang, an inner city street gang.
And what do?
They rob people and kill people. They indoctrinate young people into their gang.
They are drug dealers?
Drug dealers for the most part.
Parky, off the top of your head, tell me just in 15 or 20 seconds everything that just stream of consciousness about the Crips.
Murderous drug dealers from South Central Los Angeles.
Google Crips and see what comes up. Because we are in the midst of what could only be described as revisionist history, and I'll give you an example. What would, by the way, while Parky's looking that up, what would a celebrity, what would they have to do to well, like Cam Newton, for example, makes what was described a sexist remark to the reporter a couple of weeks ago. What? Running past routes? Thanks for stopping by, honey. And that really pissed you off.
Yeah.
And evidently it sort of annoyed the people at Dan and Yogurt. Also, he had an endorsement deal.
Axed them.
And they scratched him from their payroll. Parky, what you got, buddy?
I Googled it, and the first thing that pops up are the Crips are one of the largest and most violent associations of street gangs in the United States, with an estimated 30 to 35,000 members.
That's all lies. That's just all lies. It's bad pub. They don't have a good marketing guy. And according to no less an authority, wait a second, let's go back to Cam Newton for a second. And the point I was going to make, what would it take? What would a celebrity have to do to infuriate you, to offend you to such a degree that you would call any or all of his specific or her specific sponsors and say, I can't believe you are using this person to market, to sell your product? What would they have to do? Can you think of something?
Ooh. Any kind of racial slur?
What's the TV show that Snoop Dogg has on? He has a cooking show with Martha Stewart.
Oh, he's doing a new show now. He's doing an old version of Joker's Wild.
What would Snoop Dogg have to do? How offensive would he have to be before you would pick up the phone and call one of his product endorsements or one of his TV networks or one of the many outlets that seems to throw money at him because he's just so cute and has to some degree become a parody of himself? Snoop's got a new album coming out.
Right.
And from a purely humorous point of view, it is kind of funny that in one of the videos he's wearing a hat that says, "Make America," because he really busts Trump on the video. "Make America Crip again."
Goodness sakes.
Now, on the on the surface, to me, it's not good, but it's not enough to get me to pick up the phone and call like the Food Network and say, "You've got this clown on with Martha Stewart? Here's what he said. What the hell is wrong with you? Have you lost your ever-loving freaking mind? This guy's just bad."
Right.
I started the segment by saying, can you define revisionist history? Because he was asked about his hat, "Make America Crip again." And here's what Snoop said. The rapper also explained his references to the Crips, saying the gang's original purpose was not criminal activity, but to fight police brutality in segregated America. Let me say that again. Snoop Dogg quoted as saying, The original purpose of the Crips. What did you say it was, Parkey, on Wikipedia? What was the opening line?
That they're the most violent gang in America?
Obviously, that's just racism. Because according to no less an authority than Snoop Dogg, Make America Crip Again on his hat, the rapper also explained his references to the Crips, saying their original purpose was not criminal activity, but to fight police brutality in segregated America. What? What?
Seriously?
That's what he said, yes. That's on a CNN site. It's not like this is coming from, Alex Jones.
Oh, my goodness.
So what do you think about that? Does that offend you enough?
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Where you would pick up the phone and call the Food Network
or send an email,
and say, what?
What are you doing?
What is wrong with you giving this guy money when he is literally so Biggie and Pac were shot by a couple of community activists who went awry.
Right. That's crazy. Very crazy.
And in an interview, nobody questions him. Nobody says, dude, have you lost your mind? They're horrible. That's just, what are you thinking?
Right.
What are you thinking?
I don't get it.
Because he gets a pass. 649, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. And what kid's going to see that? Who doesn't really know and go, oh, the Crips are cool. I want to be a Crip when I grow up.
Yeah.
Odds are in your favor. 649, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update coming up right now. Here's Ruben.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine and comfortable today, the high 78. Clear and cool tonight, the low near 50. Plenty of sunshine and breezy tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski. 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
I'm Jennifer Kishenko with Your Money Now. Fidelity Investments is moving to address problems with workplace conduct following allegations of sexual harassment and bullying that led to the ouster of some high-profile employees at the mutual fund giant. The Wall Street Journal says the latest known fallout is that Fidelity pushed longtime employee Robert Chow to resign earlier this month amid allegations he made inappropriate sexual comments to colleagues. Fidelity has hired a consulting firm to review employee behavior. United Continental Holdings is in talks with JP Morgan Chase to renegotiate terms of their co-branded card partnership, a move some analysts fear could affect
The Crips are like the Boy Scouts. They let girls in. 652, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Saints are on a 4-game winning streak after handling Green Bay on the road Sunday, 26-17. Drew Brees overcame interceptions on the Saints' first 2 possessions to go 14 of 18 in the second half for 176 yards with a touchdown. He added the win-sealing touchdown in the fourth on a quarterback sneak. Ted Ginn Jr. was on the receiving end of 7 of Brees' throws, collecting 141 yards receiving. Second-year pro Michael Thomas caught 7 passes for 82 yards. And New Orleans' ground game showed up for the second straight week, with Mark Ingram gaining 105 yards on the ground and rookie Alvin Kamara 57 on just 9 carries. And the Saints are in first place in the NFC South, thanks to Atlanta losing to New England Sunday night. Ezekiel Elliott accounted for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns, one coming on a short pass from Houghton native Dak Prescott that ended up covering 72 yards in Dallas's 40-10 blowout win in San Francisco. The Cowboys improved to 3-3, while the Niners fall to 0-7. Prescott finished with 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 1 on the ground. Cowboys kicker Dan Bailey suffered a groin injury in the first half, leaving safety Jeff Heath as the place kicker. He was 2 for 3 in extra points, becoming the first non-kicker to kick multiple extra points in a game since former Houston Oiler Ted Thompson, an Atlanta, Texas native, who is now the long-tenured GM of the Green Bay Packers. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Go Tigers!
Who is that supposed to be?
Me!
Okay.
It's me. Ed Orgeron is just copying me.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL.
Didn't you know that?
In more ways than one.
655.
40-24, baby.
Matt made a very interesting point earlier. We will explore this more in the 7 o'clock hour.
Oh, boy, did I?
Erin said earlier, off the air, she said, oh, my God, did you see... And unfortunately, Shea Patterson, Calvary kid, is
out for the season.
Out for the season. Knee injury. But Erin had said, did you see LSU? Oh, my, they may never lose again. And Matt said, you just said they may never lose again.
Did I really say that?
About the same group that 2 weeks ago you wanted them all fired.
Bums.
And to transfer to JUCO.
Yeah.
656, here's Rush Limbaugh on KEEL.
Last month, after Democrat leaders Pelosi and Chuck Schumer met with President Trump at the White House, they were giddy. Supposedly, they had agreed to a deal to cover the so-called Dreamers. Those are the children of illegal immigrants granted amnesty by President Obama with an unconstitutional executive action, which President Trump rescinded. Well, the giddiness is gone. At an immigration rally in Los Angeles, Pelosi gave the thumbs down to the new border enforcement policies Trump says must be in the deal for him to sign it. The Trump administration is demanding that more enforcement agents be hired to keep up with the rising level of deportations, and there has to be funding for the border wall. Pelosi said the Democrats would never accept those proposals. She told activists at the rally that she and Chuck might be open to some new border security, but that would not include the wall or increased reinforcement internally in our country. It's un-American, and we will fight that, she said. So no additional agents to deport those staying here illegally. Calling the enforcement of American immigration law somehow un-American is totally asinine. To believe it is insane, but that is where the Democrat Party finds itself these days. And for these people to think this is how they're going to win back the House and the Senate is also insane. Nothing is more essential than protecting your home, but getting traditional home security can be a punishing and expensive task. But now there's a better way. Protect your home with Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe got rid of everything that makes home security a hassle. There's no long-term contract. There's no obligations. You can cancel anytime. Folks, this is award-winning home security. Tech magazine CNET calls it better, smarter home security. Simply Safe protects your home around the clock, 24/7 professional monitoring. If there's trouble, they'll send the police. Now, this service costs just $15 a month with Simply Safe. That's 3 times less than what the other guys charge, and there are no hidden fees and no contracts. You can buy Simply Safe at your local Best Buy and have your home protected by tonight, or go to simplysafeusa.com for a special 10% off your Simply Safe system. That's simplysafeusa.com for 10% off. simplysafeusa.com.
The intersection of Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
6:59, here's your KEEL AccuWeather.com forecast. Mostly sunny and cooler today, maybe a little above 70. Right now, 51 degrees, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, 7 o'clock, Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
3 past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Miss Erin down yonder. She's got local news. It is up next.
The cold front is here. We'll tell you just how cold it will get. 3 teenagers are facing some serious charges today. We'll have that. And one-time star arrested in the Monroe area.
Let's see if I got this right. Louisiana Supreme Court Justice Scott Creighton is coming in a couple of minutes, but he can't talk about all the cool stuff.
Nah, he's going to talk about some cool stuff, but he can't talk about any case that might come before him.
So
that's their rules.
Can't mention Matt. Plus Fletcher in sports, plus traffic and weather. It's all here this hour, and it's coming up on Keel.
KEEL Morning Report. Now on 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
This past weekend's cold front has brought even cooler temps to our state. Climatologist Barry Kime says we'll run a little cooler than normal for this time of year, but it will warm up in time for the weekend. He says once we turn the corner, we'll go into a warming trend with temps climbing back above normal by the end of the week.
Yeah, once we turn the corner near the end of the week, we'll probably go into a warming trend and climb to near normal and perhaps even a little above.
The temps could dip into the 30s later this week in Shreveport-Bossier. 3 teens were arrested by Shreveport police after the trio broke into multiple vehicles in the Southern Hills neighborhood. Police witnessed the teens enter a school bus at Southwood High School. When officers went to investigate, they found the teens that tried to run off. They were able to catch them. They recovered a laptop, a large amount of cash, and jewelry. 2 children are wounded in a shooting. Natchitoches police investigating a shootout that left 2 youngsters hurt. Police say the shooting happened at an apartment complex on Reba Street. A 5-year-old child shot in the calf. A 3-year-old was shot in the foot. An actor arrested in Mangum on drug charges. Matt Parker has that.
Goonie star musician Corey Feldman was arrested in Mangum, Louisiana, Saturday night on drug charges. According to police, they pulled over the star's bus for speeding and discovered marijuana and prescription pills. Feldman, along with 5 crew members, were charged with possession of drugs and drug paraphernalia. Feldman and his band had to cancel their performance in Monroe due to their run-in with the law. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The number of teens involved in fatal car crashes down 53% in our state over 10 years. State Farm spokesman Kip Diggs says the roads aren't as dangerous because youngsters have more restrictions like cell phone and nighttime driving restrictions. He says this has led to parents being more involved in the process.
Vigilant about how their teens are driving, the kinds of times they're driving, making sure they don't have too many kids in the car, of course making sure that they're staying off the phone.
Governor John Bel Edwards and lawmakers have had several meetings to talk about the up-and-coming $1 billion fiscal cliff. According to reports, lawmakers understand the gravity of the situation, but have yet to come up with a solution that doesn't devastate multiple state services. Several more meetings are scheduled to take place over the next few weeks. Now, when those meetings conclude, the governor will issue a detailed report on what was discussed. The Louisiana Republican congressional delegation believes tax reform legislation can be passed this year. U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy says no matter how the tax reform package passes, getting it done quick is of utmost importance to Republicans.
I think we will get tax reform, hopefully by the end of the year. I say that because we want it to impact next year's taxes, if you will, and tax planning.
The first step was taken last week when Senate Republicans passed a $4 trillion budget plan, which cuts spending over the next decade by $5 trillion. The Senate, meantime, pushing ahead on a $36 billion hurricane relief package that would give Puerto Rico a much-needed infusion of cash, but rejects requests from the powerful Texas and Florida congressional delegations for additional money to rebuild after Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. The measure also replenishes rapidly dwindling emergency disaster accounts and provides $16 billion to permit the financially troubled federal flood insurance program to pay an influx of Harvey-related claims. LSU's Darius Geis, the first running back in the SEC history to rush for over 250 yards in 3 different games. Geis had 276 yards and 1 TD in the win over Ole Miss. Head coach Ed Orgeron says his guys will be ready for Alabama on November 4th.
I mean, LSU, Alabama doesn't get bigger than that, but we're going to worry about that when we come back from a break on next Sunday. We're going to have 1 Alabama practice on a Wednesday, get our guys rested. And then I know this is going to be a game that they're going to be up for, and we all know it's a big challenge, but they're going to be up and ready to go.
The Alabama game is November 4th. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine breezy and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
Good morning, 12 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app's a free download. It's awesome, presented by Office Furniture Source. Special in-studio guest for about half hour or so, Louisiana State Supreme Court Judge Scott Creighton is here. Mr. Scott, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
I guess my first question would be, since we whenever we have guests of note in the studio, men or women of achievement and intellect and integrity, we're trying to find Matt a job. So,
you got anything?
Are there currently any openings on the Louisiana State Supreme Court? And or is there anything you could help him out with?
Well, it's a full crew, and
well, for now,
and we have this budget crisis that we keep talking about. Right?
Well, whatever happens, don't look at his Facebook page.
Oh man.
Let me see. What can't you talk about? All the cool.
I can talk about anything other than a pending case before a Louisiana state court.
What I wanted to talk to you. There's a lot that we gotta tread lightly, but I wanted to talk to you.
No, we don't have to tread lightly. He can just say I can't talk about it,
and he will, and he's not shy about that. He just can't do it. He's got judicial ethics and rules, essentially.
Well, you'll
right?
never be a radio producer, Mister. Too bad for you.
I wanted to talk to you about the death penalty because I have talked to so many people who say if we're gonna have it, use it. If we're not gonna use it, do away with it.
Well, I'm one of those that has always said if we're going to have it, use it. So we are in total agreement here. The problem is we do have it in the law, but we're not enforcing it and we're not carrying it out. We do get death penalty verdicts fairly regularly, especially in Caddo Parish and East Baton Rouge Parish and a few others. But in terms of what comes later, it's a very slow process in terms of the post-conviction.
Why is that? Is that? But that doesn't have to do with the Louisiana courts. It has to do with more federal decisions, I would think.
It has to do with both. The district attorneys are fairly prompt in getting cases to trial, following arrest and pretrial proceedings and the jury trial and the jury verdict. And that normally takes a couple of years, though. I mean, it's a lot of work that goes into the preparation of a death penalty case on both sides, the prosecution side and the defense side. I know that. I did it back in the 1980s. And I also presided over cases from 1990 to 2014 involving the death penalty. And then the appeal process directly up to the Louisiana Supreme Court is fairly prompt too. It takes about a year, maybe 18 months. But
What's the longest the guy's been on death row?
28 years, maybe.
Well,
Nathaniel Code's been there.
And I prosecuted Nathaniel Code in 1990, so this is his 27th year on death row.
Does
Sepulveda from DeSoto Parish is about the same.
That's right.
Very
it's
similar.
Close.
The fact that guys can be convicted in capital cases and the death penalty, I'm not going to say mete it out because then it's not for nigh on 3 decades. Does that affect prosecutors in cases like that, knowing if I ask for the death penalty, it's probably not going to happen anyway?
Well, yes, and I think district attorneys across the state have been a little bit more reluctant in recent years to ask for the death penalty. They may indict for first-degree murder, but they then may say, because of all the expense and all the work and all the trouble that it's going to get, and the legalese, especially during the post-conviction process, it may not be worth our allocation of time and resources, and therefore they may say, well, I'll just opt to proceed on first-degree murder without the death penalty, or second-degree murder, and I'll ask for a life sentence. If convicted. Of course, that's mandatory if convicted. But there are two issues that are hanging all this up. One is this 3-drug cocktail that we have been reading about. Some of the pharmaceutical companies have been harassed and stalked, and there's been picketing and that sort of thing. And so the drugs are, at least one of the 3 drugs is difficult to get. And then the other one, and of course in recent months in the last couple of years, Oklahoma and I believe one other state, Alabama, nearby, they have gone with this nitrogen hypoxia, I had to look that up last night.
It's still an injection?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a gas, and and it will produce death very quickly.
Could we go back to the electric chair?
We could go back. Utah has the firing squad as an option.
Ask Gary Gilmore.
And it seems to me that the inmate ought to be given a choice. I think number one, the 3-drug cocktail, or number two, the nitrogen hypoxia, which 1 drug and you're out after about 40 seconds. Firing squad is one.
This kind of delay thing. This is, I would assume, given the let's say stick-to-itiveness of the of capital punishment opponents, I would suspect this is not going to change anytime soon.
Well, the opponents, if this is all about the legislation, and if the opponents want to have the legislature repeal the death penalty, they can go to Baton Rouge and they can get a bill back on the docket just like they did this past year and repeal it.
Mm-hmm.
They can do that. The U.S. Supreme Court can repeal it as a violation of the Eighth Amendment. However, they're not doing that.
How many states still allow it?
36.
36 states still.
But they don't really have to get a
Do you think it's a deterrent, Scott?
I do.
You've been in the legal system for years.
I think it's a deterrent.
If I'm going to sit there for 30 years, it didn't deter anything.
Well, I just heard on the news this morning about a case in Texas involving an inmate who was convicted, serving a life sentence, who beat a guard to death. Somehow got out of his handcuffs and literally beat him to death
with a pipe. Yeah,
with a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Started initially with his fist and then with a pipe, and then we had recently the Angola 5 in South Louisiana.
If you're in for life, you got nothing to lose.
But in any event, one thing about the death penalty is that the person who is executed, and I'm talking about after a jury, first of all, after a grand jury indicts for first-degree murder. Mm-hmm. Secondly, after a trial jury convicts unanimously for first-degree murder. Then after a full appeal to the Louisiana Supreme Court, and then the United States Supreme Court, and then, I'm not through yet, Robert, I'm still proceeding here, and then a careful review by the federal courts to see if there are any U.S. constitutional violations. After all that due process, some years later, hopefully not too many, if there are no errors in how we got to the penalty of death, then it needs to be carried out, and it needs to be publicized. I hate to sound like the Grim Reaper here at Monday morning.
Right, that's okay.
Public executions.
I do think it's a deterrent. I believe that if it's carried out, and if we are, if the public knows about it, I believe truly is a deterrent. What really boggles my mind is the inmate who has committed capital murder, who is on death row, who is begging for his life. Mm-hmm. Think about the fact that the victim gets no due process.
Yeah. But you want air conditioning.
Well, and actually they won.
They won, exactly. Can you hang with us? Because I want to talk to you about. We know about the Glenn Ford case, exonerated, released, and I know you've got some inside details on that. Can you hang with us?
Sure.
19 past 7 o'clock. More with Louisiana Supreme Court Justice Scott Creighton momentarily. Right now, traffic update. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
The intersection at Kings Highway and Linwood Avenue is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Hamilton Road near Barksdale Boulevard in Bossier City. If you know something we don't, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine breezy and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Time for sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Saints are on a 4-game winning streak after handling Green Bay on the road Sunday, 26-17. Drew Brees overcame interceptions on the Saints' first 2 possessions to go 14 of 18 in the second half for 176 yards with a touchdown. He added the win-sealing touchdown in the 4th on a quarterback sneak. Ted Ginn Jr. was on the receiving end of 7 of Brees' throws, collecting 141 yards receiving. Second-year pro Michael Thomas caught 7 passes for 82 yards. And New Orleans' ground game showed up for the second straight week, with Mark Ingram gaining 105 yards on the ground and rookie Alvin Kamara 57 on just 9 carries. And the Saints are in first place in the NFC South, thanks to Atlanta losing to New England Sunday night. Ezekiel Elliott accounted for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns, one coming on a short pass from Houghton native Dak Prescott that ended up covering 72 yards in Dallas's 40-10 blowout win in San Francisco. The Cowboys improved to 3-3, while the Niners fall to 0-7. Prescott finished with 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 1 on the ground. Cowboys kicker Dan Bailey suffered a groin injury in the first half, leaving safety Jeff Heath as the place kicker. He was 2 for 3 in extra points, becoming the first non-kicker to kick multiple extra points in a game since former Houston Oiler Ted Thompson, an Atlanta, Texas native, who is now the long-tenured GM of the Green Bay Packers. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-four past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. A little bit more time with Louisiana State Supreme Court Judge Scott Creighton.
We want to talk about the Glenn Ford case. He was exonerated, released from jail, subsequently died, but we don't want to forget the victim, 58-year-old Isidore Roseman, killed in his jewelry store back in the early 80s. Glenn Ford was convicted. He later another man admitted to the murder, and Glenn Ford was released from death row. Is that how you recall the case? And was Glenn Ford totally an innocent man?
Absolutely not. Glenn Ford was involved, I believe, as a principal to the crime of at least second-degree murder, because he was involved and aided and abetted others. He was seen at the location prior to the homicide, seen shortly thereafter, had stolen merchandise that he pawned, and the Court of Appeal, the Second Circuit Court of Appeal, in their opinion, concluded that there was sufficient evidence of at least armed robbery, illegal possession of stolen property, and several of the judges believed it was second-degree murder. At least several believed
but
that.
That doesn't warrant a death penalty.
There was nothing innocent about him. He also had 52 prior felony convictions from the state of California. Now, I don't know how you amass 52 separate convictions, arrests and convictions for felony crimes,
still walk the street,
and walk the streets, and ended up in Shreveport. But in any event, he worked for Mr. Roseman, and had certain information about the habits of Mr. Roseman, and was seen around the house beforehand. There was a gun connected with Glenn Ford that was consistent with the gun that fired the bullet that killed Mr. Roseman. So there was an abundant amount of evidence that he was very much involved in the murder and armed robbery of Isidore Roseman. He was not innocent. No way, no how.
So when
and
you
this
see
is
it,
one
when
case
you...
I can talk about because it's not pending.
Right.
Glenn Ford died, and of course it was the writ was denied by the Supreme Court some months ago.
When you see the story of this case on 60 Minutes, you know, an innocent man walks free, and you know how they build it, and you saw Marty Stroud essentially crying about how he didn't do his job as a prosecutor.
Well, I'm not.
How did you feel about seeing all that?
I knew Marty Stroud then in the mid 1980s. I knew him very well. One of my very close friends. He was quite fastidious as a lawyer. He was not at all, to any extent, a racist. He was extremely well prepared. He examined evidence before he presented evidence to a grand jury or to a trial jury. I knew him well. In fact, I second chaired cases with Marty. Marty was a bit senior to me at the time. He was first assistant district attorney under the then DA Paul Carmouche, and he was fair and he was honorable. I would say he was as honest as anybody anywhere. And I don't know what he feels so guilty about. I don't know what he's crying about. Glenn Ford was guilty and very much involved in the homicide. Now, some information apparently came to the Caddo District Attorney's office several years ago that they deemed to be credible, and they filed a motion that, of course, was agreed to by defense counsel, obviously, such that a new trial would be granted. They further reviewed the case and then dismissed it. The problem with all that is they did not, in my opinion, sufficiently explain it to the public, and so the spin on it from media and that includes 60 Minutes, and I'm a fan of 60 Minutes.
Sure.
I like 60 Minutes. I like CBS. But the spin is that this is just yet another innocent man that's been railroaded, through the system and almost received the death penalty. Well, he's not innocent at all. And had he been convicted of second-degree murder, he would have died at Angola anyway.
Well, let's take it a step further. Pardon me. What's been reported, what the media template is that this is another African-American victim of the white racist judicial system of Louisiana.
I don't view it as that at all. I know that's the spin on it, and that's the convenient spin placed on that by some people. However, I was there, and the jury struggled over this. They were sequestered, and they worried about it, and struggled over it. Just as the jury in the Nathaniel Code case in 1990, a case that I prosecuted, which had a good cross section of our community on that jury. But in any event, that's the spin that some in the media want to place on this, and it's just not accurate. There's nothing racist about this. It was evidence driven. I mean, the evidence was there that he was all over this crime on the front end and on the tail end, and as a principal to murder, and the jury concluded that.
Louisiana Supreme Court Justice Scott Creighton. I told you the time would fly, right?
It's flown.
You'll
yes.
have to come back.
Am I done?
Yes, you'll have to come back. We can get you to come back again.
Sure,
huh?
anytime.
You bet. Thanks.
Oh, my turn.
Your turn, yeah.
I was so enamored with the interview. 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update just ahead of local news. Here's Ruben.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Line Avenue and Piermont Road. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine and comfortable today, the high 78. Clear and cool tonight, the low near 50. Plenty of sunshine and breezy tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
of information. KEEL News now.
2 children wounded in a shooting. Matt Parker has that.
Natchitoches police are investigating a shootout that left 2 children wounded. Police say the shooting took place in an apartment complex on Reba Street. A 5-year-old child was shot in the calf. A 3-year-old was shot in the foot. Both injuries are said to be non-life-threatening. Police also found that multiple cars and apartments received damage during the violent encounter. Detectives say they have identified several possible suspects in the shooting. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
3 teenagers arrested by Shreveport police after the trio allegedly broke into several cars in the Southern Hills neighborhood. Police witnessed the teens enter a school bus at Southwood High School. When officers went to investigate, the teens tried to run off. Police recovered a laptop, a large amount of cash, and jewelry from the bus. The teens are being charged with 9 counts of simple burglary. The weekend cold front has brought even cooler temperatures to the state. Climatologist Barry Kime says this is just the start to what will be a relief from the above-normal temps we saw last week.
Over the next 4 to 5 days, we can expect minimum temperatures to dip just a little bit, probably bottoming out on Wednesday and Thursday, perhaps even dropping as low as the 40s and probably in the 50s in the coastal zone. But the maximum temperatures are going to mostly remain in the 70s.
Shreveport-Bossier area could see temps in the 30s later this week. Goonies star and musician Corey Feldman arrested in Mangum, Louisiana on drug charges. According to police, they pulled over the star's bus for speeding and discovered marijuana and prescription pills. Feldman, along with 5 crew members, are facing charges. Governor John Bel Edwards and lawmakers have had several meetings to discuss the up-and-coming $1 billion fiscal cliff. According to reports, lawmakers understand the gravity of the situation, but have yet to come up with a solution that doesn't devastate multiple state services. The Louisiana Republican congressional delegation believes tax reform legislation can be passed this year. Senior Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy says President Trump has indicated he is willing to make some concessions to see this tax proposal become reality.
He'd be willing to accept a bill that wasn't quite to his liking if he thought it would get Democrats involved because he wants it to be bipartisan. And he's stressed over and over again doing something good for middle-class families.
Most senators on the Republican side say they want personal income tax cuts. Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl will appear today before the judge deciding his punishment for endangering comrades by walking off his post in Afghanistan in '09. Bergdahl faces up to life in prison after pleading guilty. The Saints overcame a few first-half mistakes to win their 4th straight, a 26-17 win over the Green Bay Packers. Quarterback Drew Brees bounced back from 2 first-half interceptions and ended up throwing for 331 yards. Mark Ingram rushed for 105 yards and a score. Head coach Sean Payton is glad they pulled out the victory despite the early turnovers.
They win the turnover ratio and still lose the game at Lambeau Field. That's happened, I think, once or twice in 12 or 13 years. So, look, we were able to overcome that, and that was significant.
Drew Brees, by the way, the 4th quarterback in NFL history to throw for 500 touchdowns. Shoplifters in Hawaii stealing cans of Spam, then selling them on the streets for quick cash to buy drugs. I'm Erin McCarty from 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
737, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. So we had mentioned this just in a quick segment last hour, but you are, in fact, borderline giddy about the LSU win over Ole Miss this weekend.
That was totally awesome. Totally awesome. They look so sharp.
What do you, in your limited analytical skills, what do you notice that's different? 2, 3, 4. What do you notice that's different between LSU against Ole Miss, to some degree against Auburn last week, and the Tigers of, say, 3 weeks to a month ago?
Well, they're starting to spark, starting to learn that offense, starting to see some cylinders kicking in. It's not like it's a 3-cylinder car anymore. You might have a 6. We're going to need an 8-cylinder in 2 weeks.
That the new, improved, expanded, whoa, where did all these plays come from? Tigers offense, do you think early on that the rumors that Coach Orgeron was, in fact, putting the kibosh on the offense that you see now, do you think those rumors are true?
And I think they've loosened up some.
Do you think the stories of that, as to use your lexicon, that come to Jesus meeting with Joe Oliva and the offensive coordinator with Matt Canada,
yes,
and them Oliva putting the hammer down, saying it's you,
right,
saying that to Orgeron. Do you believe that to be true?
Oh, absolutely. Now, if you think Darius Geis is going to get more than 200 yards against Alabama, you're barking up the wrong tree. But at least our defense is strong and will be able to keep Alabama from scoring 30 or 40 points.
739, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Uri Drive and Southfield Road's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound near Airline Drive due to an accident. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine, breezy, and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
Smells like Doritos. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin, 742. I mentioned this just in passing, and my friends who can really cook make fun of me. I said to Erin in last hour off the air, I said, I've just about perfected, because you said you're getting ready to go on vacation in a few weeks, and you're going to Orange Beach, which is yours, and we find out Scott Creighton's favorite joint.
Yeah.
And you pulled the trigger, right?
Yeah, pulled the trigger.
Okay,
it's a done deal.
No.
No buyer's remorse.
Yet you haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
Erin was your favorite vacation. Oh, by the way, God, did I print that? Oh, my God. Hold on. I hope it's here. Did it print?
It scares me when he gets this excited.
No,
yeah.
It didn't print.
Oh, no.
And I tried to print it. Did you see? It was like Travel and Something magazine had the top 20 tourist destinations in America.
Huh.
And just to give you I can't believe it didn't print. I'll dig it up. Number 20. When I tell you some of the ones, that's why I wish I had the list. It was stupid. And I'll tell you this now. New Orleans, and you know me, if I could go, I would go to New Orleans every weekend.
New Orleans is awesome.
If I could.
Right.
I would go to NOLA every weekend.
Well, you need to get a job with the judge.
Well, hang on just a
That's where he
second.
works out of.
So there was this article I found, and it was the top 20 vacation destinations in America.
Mm-hmm.
And number 20 was Cleveland.
Are you kidding me?
Now, don't get me wrong. Cleveland is a cool place. I lived there twice. The problem is
Cleveland.
If Cleveland wasn't on Lake Erie, if it weren't for the weather, if Cleveland was Miami, Cleveland would be Miami. Cleveland
Right.
is awesome.
Yeah.
But it's snowing there already.
Mm.
New York City. Where do you think on the top 20 travel, and I'm going to look it up in a second. I mean, it was a magazine of some I can't think of the word now. My brain's going blank.
Note.
Thank you very much. Those 4-letter words will throw a man off.
I'd put New York.
I was going to say reputation. I couldn't think of reputation.
I'd put New York number 1.
It was number 11.
Seriously?
New York City was number 11.
What's number 1 on this godforsaken list?
Cincinnati.
New York City was number 11. New Orleans was number 2.
Okay, I like the list better now. But what was number 1? I'm
in
scared.
a million years, you would never guess number 1.
Seattle?
No, it was in the top. I think Seattle was in the top 15.
Austin?
No, Austin was top 10, and with some
Okay.
justification.
Let's see.
Never in a million years, I promise you.
Washington, D.C.
Richmond.
No, you're close.
Really?
Norfolk, Virginia.
What? Norfolk, Virginia beat New Orleans and New York and Miami and Chicago and Austin and L.A.
You got it, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, San
my
Francisco,
God.
yeah, Honolulu, yeah, Miami.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Norfolk, Virginia, according to
What
this.
the freak for?
I have absolutely no idea. So that being the case, Erin's favorite destination, vacation destination, is Orange Beach, Florida.
Or Destin, either one of the two. They're a tie.
And she was kind of looking at condos. What you do is when you go down there, you rent a condo on the beach with a balcony,
Yeah.
and you've talked.
I haven't found one yet that's got one of those guide wires that you just hop on the chair and it drives you to the beach. I'm working on that.
Zip line
Yeah, I
to-
need a zip line to the beach.
Zip line to the Gulf.
Working on that.
But she was looking at a couple. One of them was, without mentioning numbers, price X.
Okay, yeah.
And it was an awesome condo.
It was beautiful.
6 days, 7, whatever. And it had a balcony, and it was overlooking the Gulf, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was the one with the hot tub and the cookout, like the whole kitchen.
On your private balcony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was out on the balcony. And it was X times 2.
Right.
It was double the price.
Yeah.
And you had been for about 5 days, maybe longer, weighing back and forth.
I was waffling.
And you pulled the trigger this morning.
Yeah.
Which one did you go for?
I went X times 2.
All right.
I can see myself in the hot tub with a glass of wine.
With the steak cooking 6
and
feet
some
away.
Melba toast, yeah.
Or as it's known in waterfront communities, a life preserver.
I can just dunk the Melba toast in the wine, pretend like it's communion.
So you've decided, I don't know where that came from, but it needs to go back.
You're right.
So basically, my question was, you get about 6 days into this 7-day stay.
Yeah.
For what is, let's be blunt, a rather substantial amount. Are you going to have buyer's remorse? Are you going to say,
no.
Oh my God,
No.
what did I just do?
I never regret spending money.
I spent for wrinkly fingers. I
Nah.
spent all this money.
No, I will love it. I will enjoy my time. I won't worry about that I spent the money. I'll enjoy my time with my family and my son and his girlfriend, and I'm not too worried about any of that.
And not a single regret about not spending your vacation time in Norfolk, Virginia.
We'll do that next
I'm
year.
going to pull that up during the break and see what magazine it was.
Well, I was just about to say she's going to regret all of it as soon as it starts raining.
7.
Hush up over there.
I just don't know what to pray for. 7:48. It's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update just ahead. Fletcher and Sports and Your Money Now coming up on Keel.
The intersection at Uri Drive and Southfield Roads dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound near Airline Drive due to an accident. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine and comfortable today, the high 78. Clear and cool tonight, the low near 50. Plenty of sunshine and breezy tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedinowski.
American Ground with Louis Avalone and Stephen Parr is coming up from 6 to 7 right here on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app. The KEEL app.
It is 8 before 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Saints are on a 4-game winning streak after handling Green Bay on the road Sunday, 26-17. Drew Brees overcame interceptions on the Saints' first two possessions to go 14 of 18 in the second half for 176 yards with a touchdown. He added the win-sealing touchdown in the fourth on a quarterback sneak. Ted Ginn Jr. was on the receiving end of 7 of Brees' throws, collecting 141 yards receiving. Second-year pro Michael Thomas caught 7 passes for 82 yards. And New Orleans' ground game showed up for the second straight week, with Mark Ingram gaining 105 yards on the ground and rookie Alvin Kamara 57 on just 9 carries. And the Saints are in first place in the NFC South, thanks to Atlanta losing to New England Sunday night. Ezekiel Elliott accounted for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns, one coming on a short pass from Houghton native Dak Prescott that ended up covering 72 yards in Dallas's 40-10 blowout win in San Francisco. The Cowboys improved to 3-3, while the Niners fall to 0-7. Prescott finished with 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 1 on the ground. Cowboys kicker Dan Bailey suffered a groin injury in the first half, leaving safety Jeff Heath as the place kicker. He was 2 for 3 in extra points, becoming the first non-kicker to kick multiple extra points in a game since former Houston Oiler Ted Thompson, an Atlanta, Texas native, who is now the long-tenured GM of the Sports Desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher.
Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty here once again for Twin City Appliances. No, don't get your Twin City Appliance bullet points.
Okay, good. I won't.
They've been with us 24 months or more. Let's have a little Twin City Appliance quiz.
I can do that.
Okay. Without me asking a question, tell me about Twin City Appliance. We'll make this an essay test.
Okay, well, I just know because I did pull the trigger on a high-price vacation that I'm now going to keep my appliances rather than replace them.
Because you were talking about a big remodeling
Yeah,
project.
so I'm going to get Twin City Appliance to come in and check them out and give them a tune-up, make sure everything's in good shape, and I don't need any new appliances.
Imagine this, because you were going to remodel. Imagine the cost of a refrigerator, a stove and microwave, dishwasher,
washer, dryer,
disposal, etc.
Everything.
Now, imagine if they could be, because of Twin City Appliance, just as good as new. What do you
I would
think?
love that.
$4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in savings?
Yep, and their techs are trained in all the highfalutin, fancy schmancy new stuff.
You did pretty good.
You can check them out online at twincityappliance.com.
Or give them a call at 318-688-0253.
Hey guys, here's a question for you. On a
.107 FM and 710 KEEL. It was Travel and Leisure Magazine. The top 20 vacation destinations in America. Number 20, Cleveland. 19, Philadelphia. 18, Fort Worth. You get downtown Fort Worth, it's pretty awesome. 17, Portland, Oregon. 16, Washington, D.C. 15, San Diego. I get that. 14, Scottsdale. Yeah, okay. 13, Louisville, Kentucky. What? I guess so.
That is just nuts.
Number 12, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Of all the places I would ever go visit, Minneapolis is not one.
No.
11, New York City. Number 10, Rochester, New York. What the hell? Number 9, Greenville, South Carolina. 8, Nashville, Tennessee. 7, Indianapolis. 6, Chicago. 5, San Francisco. 4, Santa Fe, New Mexico. 3, Buffalo. Number 2, New Orleans.
Buffalo?
And number 1, Norfolk, Virginia. Here's Hannity on KEEL.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
It is one of the most nauseating things I think I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, to watch people trying to exploit a tragedy the way we have been witnessing now, and to have the person that's leading the effort a known Trump hater. There's hardly anything that Congresswoman Frederica Wilson has not said about President Trump. And she has wanted forever to impeach him, to call him a racist, to call it whatever she wants to call him. And unfortunately and sadly, we have a corrupt and complicit media. And all the media is interested in is basically doing the bidding of the Democratic Party. That's all they care about. When General Kelly came out, I don't think anybody could knock down, incinerate a narrative the way that General Kelly did yesterday.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
They may not be your ordinary political pundits, but these days, that's a good thing. These mamas make sense. Terry Netterville and Denise Arthur. Listen to Mama on American Ground Radio. Weeknights from 6 to 7 p.m. Right here on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. And streaming live at KEELnews.com.
– 107 FM and 710 KEEL. It was Travel and Leisure Magazine. The top 20 vacation destinations in America. Number 20, Cleveland. 19, Philadelphia. 18, Fort Worth. 17, Portland, Oregon. 6, Washington, D.C. 15, San Diego. 4, San Francisco. 5, San Francisco. 6, Chicago. 5, San Francisco. 4, Santa Fe, New Mexico. 3, Buffalo. Number 2, New Orleans. 4, Six, Chicago. 5, San Francisco. 4, Santa Fe, New Mexico. 3, Buffalo. Number 1, Norfolk, Virginia. Here's Hannity on KEEL.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Olive Street and Centenary Boulevard, and we're still keeping an eye on some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound near Airline Drive due to an accident. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine and comfortable today, the high 78. Clear and cool tonight, the low near 50. Plenty of sunshine and breezy tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
Right now, ready? 49 degrees, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, 8 o'clock. And here's Fox News.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunshine and comfortable today, the high 78. Clear and cool tonight, the low near 50. Plenty of sunshine and breezy tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
Three past 8, Robert and Erin. Local news just a couple of seconds away. What you got, kid?
The cold front is moving into the area. Lawmakers still trying to deal with that fiscal cliff. And on the federal level, Senator Bill Cassidy says we got to do tax reform.
See, how do I phrase this? How do I phrase this properly? Yo, homegirl, Miss Louisiana, yo.
Yo.
We will discuss that in some detail. LSU may never
Miss
lose.
Louisiana, USA.
LSU may never lose again, according to someone in this room. And we still need to talk about how Playboy magazine is just like the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're shooting off their transgender toes.
Uh-oh.
Fletcher in sports, not a toe. Fletcher in sports, traffic and weather, all coming up this hour on KEEL.
of information. KEEL News now.
The weekend cold front has brought even cooler temperatures to our state. Climatologist Barry Keim says it really feels like fall today.
Minimum temperatures this morning across the state are in the 50s and 60s, and high temperatures this afternoon are only going to reach into the mid-70s. It's going to be a stunningly beautiful day.
Shreveport-Bossier area could dip into the 30s later this week. Natchitoches police investigating a shootout that left 2 children wounded. Police say the shooting took place at an apartment complex on Reba Street. A 5-year-old child shot in the calf, a 3-year-old shot in the foot. Both injuries said to be non-life-threatening. Police also found that multiple cars and apartments were damaged during the violent encounter. Detectives say they have several identified suspects in that shooting. 3 busted in a string of burglaries. Matt Parker with that.
3 teenagers were arrested by Shreveport police after the trio allegedly broke into multiple vehicles in the Southern Hills neighborhood. Police witnessed the teens enter a school bus at Southwood High School. When officers went to investigate, the teens attempted to flee. Police recovered a laptop, a large amount of cash, and jewelry from the bus. The teens are being charged with 9 counts of simple burglary. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The number of teens involved in fatal car crashes down 53% in Louisiana over a 10-year period from 2005 to 2015. That's according to the National Young Driver Survey. State Farm spokesman Kip Diggs says car crashes are the #1 killer of teens. He says the biggest contributing factor to the decrease is graduated driver's licensing laws.
Putting more things in place to monitor their driving even after, but both before they get a driver's license and after they get a driver's license, the ages of 15 to 18.
A one-time teen star is in trouble. Goonies star and musician Corey Feldman arrested in Mangum, Louisiana on drug charges. According to police, they pulled over the star's bus for speeding and discovered marijuana and prescription pills. Feldman, along with 5 crew members, were charged with possession of drugs and drug paraphernalia. Feldman and his band had to cancel their performance in Monroe due to their run-in with the law. The Louisiana Republican congressional delegation believes tax reform legislation can be passed this year. Senator John Kennedy says a bill has yet to be drafted, but he supports an across-the-board personal income tax cut, starting with the middle class.
If we do this right and let people keep more of their own money, people will see higher take-home pay, we'll have more jobs, we'll have productivity go up, which will cause wages to go up.
Governor John Bel Edwards and lawmakers have had numerous meetings to discuss the up-and-coming $1 billion fiscal cliff. According to reports, lawmakers understand the gravity of the situation, but have yet to come up with a solution that doesn't devastate multiple state services. LSU's Darius Geis, the first running back in the SEC history to rush for more than 250 yards in 3 different games. Geis had 276 yards and 1 TD in the 40-24 win over Ole Miss. Coach Ed Orgeron says he was anticipating a big game from his superstar back.
He's finally healthy. I think, well, we thought that we could run the football on him. But he's finally healthy. And we challenged our team. We needed to run the football. This is a team that can score at any time. We needed to play dominant, control football tonight, run the ball. We did.
LSU has moved up to number 23 in the polls. Next up for the Tigers, on the road at Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama after a 1-week rest. No Powerball winner over the weekend, so that jackpot climbs to $191 million. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
10 past 8 traffic update right now. Here's Ruben on KEEL.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic on Olive Street and Centenary Boulevard. And we're still keeping an eye on some backed-up traffic on I-20 westbound near Airline Drive due to an accident. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine, breezy, and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
At our home, winter nights are complicated. Either I end up free.
Good morning. It's 12 past 8. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty. It's 101.7 FM 710 KEEL. KEEL app's a free download. It's awesome. It sounds great. And it's presented by Office Furniture Source.
And it's free.
Pardon me, but you were just sort of hanging. You were kind of dangling your tongue out your mouth. It looked like a big zipper down there. What the heck?
I'm not feeling up to 100% today.
What's the deal?
I'm feeling about 70%.
Why?
I've got a little nauseous thing going on. I'm not sure what it is. So I might need the garbage can here.
Morning sickness, perhaps?
No, don't start that rumor, please.
Congratulations.
Yeah. 50,000 watts of rumor.
Yeah. 50,000 watts of miracle.
So it's happened once before.
Yeah.
So I don't mean you. I mean an immaculate conception.
Right, yeah.
So as you are now 3 weeks into this radical life change, into I mentioned in the 6 o'clock hour, and Matt and I we talked about this between ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And your mic was on, but we said just zip it there for a couple of seconds. It has been no fewer than 5 people in the last week ask me, what's up with Erin? Why is she so
nuts?
Loony?
Nutty. You for about a week and a half now,
Mm-hmm.
you have been acting as though there's about 100 volts of electricity shooting through your body. How many people said anything to you last week?
At least a half dozen.
Golly, I've been that nutty?
Yeah, and people who listen to the show is Erin like on some sort of medication? She seems different.
No, she is. If you're watching on video this week on the KEEL Facebook page, KEEL YouTube, look at my face. She is, for the first time in nigh on 2 decades, Erin Van Winkle down there. Erin is awake. She is alert.
Yeah.
She is experiencing the world. Now, I don't know if we want to have Maggio in or if there's somebody from LSU Health or the medical school or WK or something. But I would imagine somewhere in Shreveport, you said to me, especially now that you have changed your lifestyle and its benefits are obvious. And I said 2 hours ago, I said, if nothing else comes from this. If you change,
I'll get some sleep.
If you change no other aspect of your life long term, you will change your sleep habits.
Yes.
Because for the first time in 20 plus years,
I turn off the TV at night and I get sleep.
You're sleeping more than 2 hours at a time.
Yes, I have had a horrible habit of leaving the TV on, and I wouldn't fall into a deep sleep. So I'd wake up every 2 to 3 hours, have to go to the bathroom, I'd have to check what was on the TV, I'd look at my phone, whatever, then I'd go back for another 2 or 3 hours. Well, now I've changed the pattern completely, and if you have a sleep issue, I suggest you try this, because a lot of people, I'm realizing, have sleep issues.
Pardon me. As you make this lifestyle change, and you talk to more of your friends and acquaintances,
oh, I'm not alone,
and workmates, you find out so many people say, "Man, that's me. I never sleep more than 2
I
or
get up in the middle of the night all the time." Yeah. So first things first, turn off your TV at night, or at least set the sleep timer so it goes off automatically.
Okay, explain to people not necessarily the stimuli that you get from the TV. There's noise going on. It's really affecting you.
It's that blue light, whatever they call it, the EMP, whatever it is.
And it comes from your phone. It comes from your television.
The electromagnetic pulse
it
keeps your inner brain going.
That, and it affects the melatonin level, which is the chemical that induces sleep.
Yes. So my TV goes off at a certain time at night when I'm ready to relax and go to sleep. I get a black mask. I have 2 different ones. One is a gel mask. You get it, put it in the freezer, and it completely covers, and it gives you some soothingness over your eyes when it's ice cold. Or I have a silky one that I'll use too.
Like my Nani.
Yeah. And then I'll turn on my sleep meditation. It's called Meditation Talk Down. And you can have it in a man's voice or a woman's voice. I prefer the woman because I don't like how the men talk me to sleep.
Because you want to buy a Slurpee.
Doesn't work for me.
Yeah, just keep going.
So I let the woman talk me to sleep. And she's got beautiful music playing. She talks about relaxing.
So it's really sort of a self-hypnosis tape.
It is. And there's
a
several different
tape.
And you lay there. She tells you what to do with your blankies and your pillows, and then she tells you where to put your hands. And
how long is this, as you call it, this
have different
talk?
Varieties. Mine is about 34 minutes, but I'm asleep by the end.
That was going to be my question.
I never make it to the end.
Do you ever get to the end?
Never, never, never. I fall into a deep sleep. I sleep for 6 or 7 hours.
So tell me how this has changed, because Matt and I are going to tell you how we see you have changed.
Well, I wake up in the morning and I'm brighter. I'm more focused. I see things differently. I feel things differently. Things bug me like they would have never bugged me before.
The point I'm making is, and I used this analogy last week. Erin right now, lifestyle-wise, is like somebody who's been like a 25-year smoker, and they quit and they go, well, taste my food for the first time.
Yeah.
You have, you've gone through the last 2 decades of your life in a fog. It's like the Patriots game
sleep
last
fog,
night.
yeah.
Yes, or lack of sleep fog. Suddenly, you're awake. And where you've been experiencing life at a level of 2, a sensory level of 2 or 3, well, the world operates at 5 or 6. So all of a sudden, you're getting all of life. You're hearing things and seeing things and experiencing things. And it's like, whoa, when did the world get this loud?
Yes.
This is really the temperature. This is the audio level, the sensory level at which life operates.
I'm excited, too, because tomorrow I get another gadget that's going to help me. And Jason recommended this for me. Yes. He said, get an alarm clock that it simulates the sunrise instead of a loud bah, bah, or wah, wah, whatever noise.
What on earth does that mean?
He said because the noise startles you awake and you don't wake properly. He said if you have a sunrise, that the sun comes up in your room, it wakes you gradually and you're better able to start your day.
So basically you're going to be getting or looking for sort of a light.
It's a light alarm clock,
that comes on.
And it simulates sunrise. And I'm so looking forward to this. I should be getting it tomorrow. I'll bring it in here the next day and we can test it.
I'm telling you guys, if you have sleep issues and more
Oh,
people than
man.
it
changes your life, I'm telling you.
It's changed Matt's and mine.
Yeah, you love me more.
We're thinking maybe you need to start eating more honey buns. 19 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update. Right now, here's Rapid Ruben.
The intersection at Hearn Avenue and Ford Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some backed-up traffic on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine breezy and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
Twenty-one past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Saints are on a 4-game winning streak after handling Green Bay on the road Sunday, 26-17. Drew Brees overcame interceptions on the Saints' first 2 possessions to go 14 of 18 in the second half for 176 yards with a touchdown. He added the win-sealing touchdown in the fourth on a quarterback sneak. Ted Ginn Jr. was on the receiving end of 7 of Brees' throws, collecting 141 yards receiving. Second-year pro Michael Thomas caught 7 passes for 82 yards. And New Orleans' ground game showed up for the second straight week, with Mark Ingram gaining 105 yards on the ground and rookie Alvin Kamara 57 on just 9 carries. And the Saints are in first place in the NFC South, thanks to Atlanta losing to New England Sunday night. Ezekiel Elliott accounted for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns, one coming on a short pass from Houghton native Dak Prescott that ended up covering 72 yards in Dallas's 40-10 blowout win in San Francisco. The Cowboys improved to 3-3, while the Niners fall to 0-7. Prescott finished with 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 1 on the ground. Cowboys kicker Dan Bailey suffered a groin injury in the first half, leaving safety Jeff Heath as the place kicker. He was 2 for 3 in extra points, becoming the first non-kicker to kick multiple extra points in a game since former Houston Oiler Ted Thompson, an Atlanta, Texas native, who is now the long-tenured GM of the Green Bay Packers. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
What I had said a couple of weeks ago, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin, 823. What I said a couple of weeks ago that freaked everybody out was that the length of time between the Kennedy assassination and today is the same amount of time between the Lincoln assassination and the end of World War I. Think about that.
Yeah.
So the length of time is the same between John F. Kennedy's assassination in November of 63 and today is the same amount of time between Lincoln at the end of the Civil War, 1865, April, and the end of World War I, 1919. Now, Donald Trump made a whole bunch of news this weekend. He is going to finally
release some more info.
Now, what were you talking about the Zapruder film? What did you ask? Now, if you don't know if this is foreign to you, out of the blue, you heard her say Zapruder film. Do you remember uttering that?
Yeah, I was watching a bloody movie or something. I'm not sure what I was referring to. Yeah.
Okay, the Zapruder film is the home video made by Abraham Zapruder of the Kennedy assassination in Dallas, Dealey Plaza, November of 63. Now, the Trump administration, the DOJ, is going to release the last of the Kennedy assassination documents which have been sealed. And to read everything that's in the news the last 48 or 72 hours, let me start with this. What the hell do you think? What do you people think is going to be in there? Nothing it's not going to suddenly say Jim Garrison was right. It was
Oswald didn't act alone.
It was Carlos Marcello. It was Sam Giancana. It was Fidel Castro.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the way this is being presented in the media is that everyone's questions about the grassy knoll and Howard Hunt and ties to fill in the KGB.
Right.
And as though everybody's...
We'll get our answers.
As though every question that everyone ever had, that the final solution, if you will, the final answer about the Kennedy assassination will finally be made public.
Right.
I
don't think it's going to have the unanswered questions in it.
No.
But, if it... Might as well let us read it. I know a member of the Kennedy family was upset that they felt like they should have been notified first.
Why?
It's because it's their relative.
It's 60 years ago.
I
55
know, but still,
years ago.
they should at least have the courtesy of looking at it first and then release it to the public. I mean, that's what I would do if I were president.
I mean, do you really for an instant think that that suddenly the curtain on the secrets of the truth of the Kennedy assassination, that the curtain will be lifted?
No, but if it's my dad or my granddad or my, uncle, I'd want to read all the documents first before I read them in newspapers.
Are you one of the conspiracy theorists? Are you old enough to have a sense? Because I was talking about that, and for anybody, I guess, under the age of 40 or 30, what they talk about is that 9/11 was the Kennedy assassination for a different generation. Yes. And I certainly understand that.
Sure.
I mean, it was a Thursday, and it was a Thursday about noon, and I was living in Birmingham, Alabama. I was in the 6th grade, and they sent us home from... First time I saw my mother sob. The first time I had seen my mother cry, I had never seen my mother sob.
Right.
Uncontrollably when John F. Kennedy was killed.
Mm-hmm.
Any sense, are you familiar with the intricacies? Are you familiar with some of the theories? Do you have any thoughts that might go beyond what has been publicized through the years?
No, I really don't. I really believe...
Other than Jim Garrison was insane.
Jim Garrison was insane. And I've had moments when I thought maybe it was a conspiracy, but to be honest, no. I've kind of come back to what they released.
Anybody who thinks that all these documents are going to be released and all of a sudden Jim Garrison was right.
We're going to solve it, yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, folks. That's not what's going to happen.
The truth is out there, man. It's just not in those papers.
Yeah. We're going to find out about the magic bullet. I don't know. Is the magic bullet information in the documents?
I have no idea what really happened. I tend to think it's what's it called? Not something theorem or theory or postulate that the answer is usually the simplest thing.
Yeah. What was that? Akeem's razor?
Yes. Thank you very much.
I'm just going to tell you, I've been to the 6th Floor Museum in Dallas several times. It is one of my favorite historic places ever to visit.
Why?
And just because you can actually almost stand in the window he was standing in. They have it roped off, but you can get right to it.
Yeah.
You can see where the car was. You can see, and they have the whole Zapruder film that you can watch. They have so much stuff preserved just as it was in that book depository. It really is stunningly amazing.
Whatever the truth is, whatever the answers happen to me be, they ain't coming out in the next 10 days.
I don't think so.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update just ahead of local news. Erin's got that next right now. Traffic time. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine, breezy, and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
2 children wounded in a shooting. Matt Parker has that.
Natchitoches police are investigating a shootout that left 2 children wounded. Police say the shooting took place in an apartment complex on Reba Street. A 5-year-old child was shot in the calf. A 3-year-old was shot in the foot. Both injuries are said to be non-life-threatening. Police also found that multiple cars and apartments received damage during the violent encounter. Detectives say they have identified several possible suspects in the shooting. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
3 teenagers arrested by Shreveport police after the trio allegedly broke into several cars in the Southern Hills neighborhood. Police witnessed the teens enter a school bus at Southwood High School. When officers went to investigate, the teens tried to run off. Police recovered a laptop, a large amount of cash, and jewelry from the bus. The teens are being charged with 9 counts of simple burglary. The weekend cold front has brought even cooler temperatures to the state. Climatologist Barry Kime says this is just the start to what will be a relief from the above-normal temps we saw last week.
Over the next 4 to 5 days, we can expect minimum temperatures to dip just a little bit, probably bottoming out on Wednesday and Thursday, perhaps even dropping as low as the 40s and probably in the 50s in the coastal zone. But the maximum temperatures are going to mostly remain in the 70s.
Shreveport-Bossier area could see temps in the 30s later this week. Goonies star and musician Corey Feldman arrested in Mangum, Louisiana on drug charges. According to police, they pulled over the star's bus for speeding and discovered marijuana and prescription pills. Feldman, along with 5 crew members, are facing charges. Governor John Bel Edwards and lawmakers have had several meetings to discuss the up-and-coming $1 billion fiscal cliff. According to reports, Lawmakers understand the gravity of the situation, but have yet to come up with a solution that doesn't devastate multiple state services. The Louisiana Republican congressional delegation believes tax reform legislation can be passed this year. Senior Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy says President Trump has indicated he is willing to make some concessions to see this tax proposal become reality.
He'd be willing to accept a bill that wasn't quite to his liking if he thought it would get Democrats involved because he wants it to be bipartisan. And he's stressed over and over again doing something good for middle-class families.
Most senators on the Republican side say they want personal income tax cuts. Army Sergeant Bo Bergdahl will appear today before the judge deciding his punishment for endangering comrades by walking off his post in Afghanistan in '09. Bergdahl faces up to life in prison after pleading guilty. The Saints overcame a few first-half mistakes to win their fourth straight, a 26-17 win over the Green Bay Packers. Quarterback Drew Brees bounced back from 2 first-half interceptions and ended up throwing for 331 yards. Mark Ingram rushed for 105 yards and a score. Head coach Sean Payton is glad they pulled out the victory despite the early turnovers.
They win the turnover ratio and still lose the game at Lambeau Field. It's happened, I think, once or twice in 12 or 13 years. So, look, we were able to overcome that, and that was significant.
Drew Brees, by the way, the 4th quarterback in NFL history to throw for 500 touchdowns. Shoplifters in Hawaii stealing cans of Spam, then selling them on the streets for quick cash to buy drugs. I'm Erin McCarty from 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
It is 8:37. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. So Lauren Vizza, Shreveport, she is Miss Louisiana. This is the Miss Louisiana USA.
Yes.
Which is the preliminary for, if you will, the Miss Universe pageant.
Right, the Miss USA pageant, then to the Miss Universe. Yeah.
Okay.
She was Miss Louisiana 5 years ago. And I don't know if there's anyone who's won both of those.
Pardon me. Explain the difference, what we're talking about
here. Miss Louisiana goes on to the Miss America pageant. Okay, so there's a different train that you're on. She won and got that train ride in 2012.
Gotcha.
And went to the Miss America pageant. Well, now she's won Miss Louisiana USA, which sends her on the train to the Miss USA pageant. I don't think there's anyone else who's won both. I thought Linnea Fayard may have won both.
I know that she
but
was
I'm not sure.
She was like Miss America pageant.
And then she was Miss Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a cool story, and you gotta love it. I mean, it's just so exciting. 5 years apart to win them both. And I'm like, wow, that's quite an honor. And you and I know her. She's a wonderful young lady. She's now an anchor, and I think the mornings at KTAL on the TV station. And, I'm sure she's taken a leave of absence. Obviously, she will have to perform her duties as Miss Louisiana USA. Maybe they'll let her stop by and visit with us.
8:39, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update right now. Here's Ruben.
Still keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. And we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Plenty of sunshine today, the high 78. Chilly tonight with a clear sky, the low near 50. Sunshine breezy and nice tomorrow, high 72. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Dan Pedanowski.
Good morning. It's 8:41. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. I had mentioned, got a couple of topics to cover in this segment, but first of all, I had mentioned to Erin, because you're going to Florida, and you got the condo with on the high rise with the balcony and your own private hot tub and sort of built-in grill, and you're going to cook out and stuff.
Yeah.
And I said to Erin that I have been working for 3 or 4 months on perfecting what in my mind is the perfect steak rub. And it started off as a conglomerate. It's just a mix of different, like salt and pepper and cumin and just a whole bunch of different things.
Okay.
And then I started adding like a little cinnamon sugar to it to put, basically over the last, say, 3 months, basically what I'm making is cinnamon toast on steak. And so my perfected, as I just alluded to it as my perfected steak rub is basically it's cinnamon and sugar and olive oil.
Oh man!
And it's sort of
I don't want to hear about any of this.
Awesome. I asked Matt to think about this a couple of hours ago, and he looked at me and he said, "I've already got thoughts." And I don't know if you heard me ask him this very same question, but I want you to tell me what it means to you, if anything, when Playboy magazine features as their playmate a transgender woman, i.e., a man.
Playboy's featuring...
You had the story last week, yeah.
A transgender woman.
Yeah.
Okay, what body parts are they showing?
I haven't seen it.
Playboy is marketed to men.
Let's assume for the moment, and I don't know, maybe Matt knows more about, I have not looked at the photos. Playboy has for nigh on 3.5 or 4 decades been to some degree full frontal nudity.
Sure.
So I don't know if this
is this transgender? Has this person had the operation?
I have no idea.
See, that would be important.
Couldn't tell you. Why would it be important at all?
Because men don't want to see male genitalia, I don't think.
Do you think men...
But they would probably be curious about what happens after you...
Okay, we have 3 men in the room, okay? We have 3 men in this room right now. By a show of hands... who would be the least bit curious about seeing a naked transgender woman, i.e. biological man, in a men's magazine? Hands stay down.
That's what I mean. Y'all don't want to go look at a man's body part, right?
So my question...
But wouldn't men be more apt to go look at what happens after the man has had
absolutely
the replacement surgery?
No, that's just what I was saying.
Wouldn't you be curious what happens after you do the whack job?
No.
I could have phrased that a little bit differently.
No, you phrased it perfectly. Well, let me ask you, would there be the slightest possibility of your own sexual titillation looking at a transgender woman? Or a transgender man, I'm sorry.
No.
Who had the surgery?
I would like to see
But
I'm not going to say what Rush says,
wait just a
but I
second.
would like to see when they add something to a woman.
Okay, so my question.
What does it look like?
But is there the possibility that you would be sexually aroused?
No, not in the least.
Then why on
No.
earth? Then why on
But
earth?
out of curiosity, I would like to see the train wreck that is adding a male to what was a female.
So my question
You
to
get
you
me?
is, once again, my question remains: what is it about a magazine that is based on sex? What is their purpose for putting a transgender woman as their centerfold, as their
So
playmate
that
of the
you
month?
would talk about it today on the radio, because Playboy magazine, like Matt says, is so irrelevant today
Ding, ding,
that
ding.
they need attention. So that's what they're doing to get attention. And you just gave them what they want.
Look, if you remember, what was it, 6 months ago or so, the magazine sales was in the toilet, so they're retooling it, so to speak, to
Don't say retool, but what we're talking about.
They were reworking it. How
Yeah,
about
thank
that?
you.
Where it was going to feature no nudity, and they were getting away from the women, and it was going to be more like Esquire or GQ.
Yeah.
And then that flopped, and then they went back to the nudity.
Yeah.
I mean, other than a hef dying, no one's cared about Playboy in a
I
decade.
know y'all only get Playboy for the articles. I know.
Hey, I did get some great cooking recipes out of Playboy.
Yeah, whatever.
So that leads me to my
True.
next question. If Playboy magazine is at some level willing to and think there is some that the possibility of a man being aroused by the sight of another man in their magazine, which is generally a magazine for heterosexual men.
Mm-hmm.
We had a story about 2 months ago, maybe a little longer. And do you recall me using the term, and do you remember the context of the term, date shaming?
Yeah, I remember you using the term. I don't remember the context.
Do you
No.
remember the context?
No.
Parky, do you recall the context of
I
date
do.
On college campuses, if you, a heterosexual man or woman, are come onto by a trans person, say theoretically, for example, you, Erin McCarty, heterosexual woman, if a trans man, i.e. a woman, if a trans man would ask you out and you would say no to them because you're a heterosexual woman and that's really, really, really a woman, and you turn them down because of their trans status, you are a bigot.
Okay.
And on college campuses, students who won't date a trans person of the opposite gender, i.e., if a trans woman wanted to go out with me and asked me out, and I said, listen, I appreciate the situation, but I don't date men. And their response is, well, you don't understand. I'm not a man, I'm a woman. And if my response would be, you're a man, that makes me a bigot.
Yes.
If you would refuse the advances of a trans man, a woman, a trans man, because they were trans, that makes, in the eyes of the politically correct world, that makes you a bigot.
Okay. Well, I'm a bigot.
So is Playboy magazine, are they part of this? Are they like the NFL? Are they so inured? Are they so embracing the PC culture that they really don't care anymore about who their audience really is? Are they so concerned with doing the right thing?
Yeah.
That they're willing to lose even more of their audience.
They have zero audience. They have nobody buying the magazine anymore. They have maybe a few people getting it online. I don't know.
So by a show of hands, this has nothing to do with anything that is traditionally Playboy magazine. You both think that they did this not because of the increased blurring of gender lines, but because they're just looking for a little pub, because they have ceased to exist as anything that media-wise really matters.
Yep.
839, 49, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Right now, here comes traffic.
Still keeping an eye on some slow-moving traffic on Texas Street in downtown Shreveport, and we have some traffic delays on Airline Drive near Old Minden Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD. Hazards or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
I'm Jennifer Kishinka with your Money Now.
It is 8:52, 8 till 9 o'clock. Traffic up to wait. Monday Morning Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The New Orleans Saints are on a 4-game winning streak after handling Green Bay on the road Sunday, 26-17. Drew Brees overcame interceptions on the Saints' first two possessions to go 14 of 18 in the second half for 176 yards with a touchdown. He added the win-sealing touchdown in the fourth on a quarterback sneak. Ted Ginn Jr. was on the receiving end of 7 of Brees' throws, collecting 141 yards receiving. Second-year pro Michael Thomas caught 7 passes for 82 yards. And New Orleans' ground game showed up for the second straight week, with Mark Ingram gaining 105 yards on the ground and rookie Alvin Kamara 57 on just 9 carries. And the Saints are in first place in the NFC South, thanks to Atlanta losing to New England Sunday night. Ezekiel Elliott accounted for 219 yards and 3 touchdowns, one coming on a short pass from Houghton native Dak Prescott that ended up covering 72 yards in Dallas's 40-10 blowout win in San Francisco. The Cowboys improved to 3-3, while the Niners fall to 0-7. Prescott finished with 4 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 1 on the ground. Cowboys kicker Dan Bailey suffered a groin injury in the first half, leaving safety Jeff Heath as the place kicker. He was 2 for 3 in extra points, becoming the first non-kicker to kick multiple extra points in a game since former Houston Oiler Ted Thompson, an Atlanta, Texas native, who is now the long-tenured GM of the Green Bay Packers. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Now, that's the Erin we know and love. Is this show over yet?
That's not what she said.
That's not what I
Are we
said.
done? 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. You know who was awesome today?
Who?
And we'll put the interviews up just a bit later. Louisiana Supreme Court Judge Scott Creighton.
Yes, totally
was
awesome.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give it away, but in our second segment with His Honor, he talked in some detail and with a great deal of knowledge about the Glenn Ford case.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, in 20 seconds, tell everybody, can you update them what that was?
Yeah, Glenn Ford was convicted of killing Isidore Roseman back in the early 80s. Glenn was sentenced to death row, sentenced to die. He was later exonerated, and then the case generated nationwide attention, was on 60 Minutes, and the DA assistant DA at the time, Marty Stroud, tearfully apologizing. He didn't do his job right.
Now, Ford did not live for long after his release. He had
lung cancer, and he died quickly after his release.
The point, we got to go.
Judge Creighton commented about Glenn Ford wasn't a totally innocent man.
Details on the website with that interview with Judge Creighton just a bit later this morning, KEELnews.com. 8:57, here's Kim Commando on KEEL.
Of-a-kind personal home videotapes. Every day, those tapes are slowly fading away. Kim Commando with your Monday Consumer Tech Update. The video images stored on VHS are not permanent. In fact, they're more fragile than film. In less than 2 short decades, magnetic tape demagnetizes, gets brittle and unplayable. If you're serious about preserving VHS family memories, you must transfer all of them to DVDs. The 3 most convenient options are Costco, Walgreens, or Walmart. Each one provides slightly different services. Costco will transfer 2 hours of home videos to 1 DVD for $20. Walgreens is a little more, but they're going to transfer everything to a higher quality Blu-ray. Walgreens will also transfer the older 8mm home movies. The cost, $25 per 100 feet of film. Walmart is the more expensive option, but they're going to also repair damaged VHS cassettes. Our tech news is updated all the time at news.commando.com. That's KOMANDO.
Wallet, phone, keys. Leaving the house doesn't have to turn into an annoying scavenger hunt. The new Tracker Pixel will help you find your misplaced items using loud alert signals and powerful LED lights activated from your smartphone. Lose your phone? Press Tracker Pixel's button to make your phone ring, even if it's on silent. The search is over. Go to thetracker.com/Kim for 20% off today with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's thetracker.com/Kim.
Why just listen to the Kim Commando Show when there's so much more? Why not watch the whole show in high definition on your phone, tablet, or television? Or download the podcast in crystal clear digital audio. Watch or listen on your schedule, driving, exercising, or relaxing.